Hey, you summoned a lesser maker. So you know Howl's Moving Castle. It's a masterpiece. I first was introduced to it when my wife read me the book on a road trip, and recently with the kids, I watched it for the first time. So what if I took the idea and instead of something mechanical, we made it something nightmare fuel, like a monster inside of it. This is my spider house. I built this for Monster Bash 3 a long time ago, and it was my introduction to the hobby. And lately, I've been super burned out, and kind of going back to my first project, it's really inspiring me to build again. Now, this monster is a living, breathing organism. And so last year, when I was a part of Monster Bash 5 officially, built its offspring. It's looking for its next home. And I've been wondering for a long time, what does this monster grow up to be? That's the question I'm going to answer today. I'm going to start off by roughing out the silhouette with bone core. And this is going to be the bones of the whole structure. And this is a really important step because we're going to be texturing all over this foam core later. I forgot to mention that I'm building this for a competition called ZAMANURG, and I'm not submitting it because I'm actually judging it. So if you want to be a part of it, you can go check out the details on Instagram, and I'm looking forward to judging your stuff. More details about this competition will be later on in the video. My big inspiration for this build is this account I found on TikTok called the Wasteland Wizard. And obviously this is kind of Necromunda themed, but I love the look of this build. As I'm waiting for this hot glue to kind of cool off, the reason I think challenges like this are important is because sometimes you don't know what you're getting into. I knew that what I made probably wouldn't be the best. It turned out much better than I expected. My whole goal is to make things accessible. By me judging one of these things, I can really peer pressure you into getting out of your comfort zone and try something new. I could really use your help sharing this content with people. YouTube has just kind of given up sharing it and putting a lot of effort into these weekly videos, and then it just gives up after 1,000 views. So if you could do the likes and the comments and like really help me fight the algorithm, I would really appreciate it. All right, let's get back to the build. This is the fun part. We're adding all the texture on top of the shape that we like, and basically we're just filling in the gaps. I'm not just exaggerating the silhouette, I'm over exaggerating the textures here to kind of be a bit cartoonish and maybe more hyper realistic. It's gonna make it look larger than life. Now, as a nice little hint, the more texture you add, the easier it will be to paint. So add a lot of variation. I'm not just using popsicle sticks, I'm using jumbo popsicle sticks, 1mm square dowel, and a variety of different clothespins as well. And I'm just breaking these off haphazardly, leaving the rough edges exposed. To make my life easier, I 3D printed some windows, and I'm going to be using those to add some jut outs on the side of this building. I always think it's a really good idea to kind of break the silhouette a little bit just to add a bit of interest. And I thought the person who's riding inside might have wanted to look at the front and the back of the wagon. And so having a weird shaped jut out like this made a lot of sense in my head. My Patreon has a bunch of free STLs that you can use for all of your builds. You don't have to be a member, it's a free resource, so feel free to window shop and download as many as you'd like. And if you want to help support the channel, it's only $2 a month, and I really appreciate that. The carriage needs an entrance, so I went to make a door on the back of the carriage, and that will need a perch so that you can walk out on it. So I used some clothespins and some popsicle sticks to kind of add that jut out. Then I 3D printed a door from my building accessories STL pack and just glued it right in. Then I just framed it out with popsicle sticks and dowel, much in the same way as everything else. I layered a bunch of the popsicle sticks on the back arch and then added another doorway for the top level, just in case the wizard had to sling some spells or make some on-roof repairs. Right about now, I'm wishing that I could frame these videos as well as I could frame out these doors. I modified this STL by just cutting it round at the top to help fit in the archway. Then for the front, we're basically just doing the same thing, so we're just going to kind of rush through this. As a final detail, I grabbed a box of chess pieces from an antique store and I'm picking out a chimney. There are several good options here, but I kind of settled on the castle because I just kind of think it fits the vibe and the diameter pretty well. So I just glued it on and it turned out great. Now that the structure is on, it's time to turn it into a monster, and to have a bit more surface area for the legs, I glued on a couple cubes, and I started gluing on the legs. If you're interested in making something like this is an STL that I'll put on the Patreon as well for free. Although this is called a spider house, or in this case a spider wagon, this thing has legs for days, so I just glued down all the ones that successfully printed, and I even had it growing out of the top. My idea for this is it's kind of like a hermit crab. It'll fill up the void it fits in. So the entire inside is a beast. And to kind of add a bit more of texture, I added a lot of the spray foam from a foam sealant can. And this one was pretty old, so it didn't really spray out too great, but it actually worked out perfect for this case. Now that the monster portion is done, I started brainstorming about the roof. Now I was going to do shingles, but then I remembered how to do the thatched roof, and I used jute rope, and I cut it into like 1-inch wefts, and I just started hot gluing it on. And before you know it, you just step and repeat it and you're done. It's really simple and it really looks fantastic. Adds a lot of texture. You do want to keep in mind that you're gluing it down in certain directions, and you can kind of style it in that way too, just kind of like hair. Now it is a wagon after all, but there's not much evidence of that. So I glued on some wagon wheels. Obviously those aren't in use anymore, but maybe it's used for camouflage when it's trying to be covert. So I just painted my model, and I wanted to mention that one of the nice things about this challenge in particular is it doesn't have to be painted. Take a picture of it before you prime it, and then take a picture of it after you prime it. Because sometimes it's nice to see the colors of the materials, and sometimes it's better to see it all unified together. So that's up to you. If you're getting close to the deadline and it's not yet painted, don't be discouraged. Submit it anyway. I really want to see what you guys make. I basically painted all the wood a grayish, bluish, dead wood color. Just kind of mixed around different shades of that bluish gray, because I really want this to be desaturated and look really dried out. Then I painted all the metal in the windows like a Statue of Liberty type green. I painted the monster legs purple and the underbelly a nurglish green as well. And I really love the color choice here. Oh, man. I am absolutely in love with this project. It just turned out so freaking cool. I'm not cured of burnout, but I'm encouraged. I think it's worth noting that your hobby is going to evolve, and just kind of roll with the punches. Get inspired, leave yourself open to kind of move around a little bit. I have some really exciting things on the horizon for the channel, and I hope you can be there with me. So if you feel like this video earned your subscription, make sure you do that. And please, if you can spare a couple minutes to leave a comment and a like and share this video with someone, I'd really appreciate it. All right, have a good one.